Welcome agents, where do I start? There is so much news and information to cover in today's video, so I recommend you get comfortable. Ubisoft today released a trailer outlining all of the Year 1 content, including confirmation of the Pentagon and what's in the Year 1 pass. On top of that, today we had the first state of the game for a long time, which I've cut to only contain sort of important information, important stuff, along with open beta rewards, exclusive audio story sets in the Ghost Recon Wildlands for the Division 2 and more, if you can believe that. Like I said, a lot to unpack here, but I didn't want to spread it across multiple videos, so this is your one-stop shop for everything new in the world of the Division 2. If you enjoy this, drop a like and subscribe for dedicated Division content, and let's get to it. Okay, so I'm going to finish the video with a much shorter version of today's state of the game, only including the really important stuff and anything not already covered in this video. First off, let's get all of the less important stuff out of the way. First up are the open beta rewards. Ubisoft released this graphic which details everything you can earn by participating or doing certain things in the open beta starting this Friday at 9 AM GMT. You will be able to preload the beta if you haven't already 24 hours before, so tomorrow 9 AM GMT. As you can see, there are 4 cosmetic items here to unlock. We have the DC Patriot weapon skin, which will unlock for participating in any beta, so it's likely you would have already unlocked this if you played in the private beta. We have the Capitol Hill arm patch, which is obtainable by completing the invaded mission. I have to say this is the best looking arm patch so far, but I'm sure there will be a lot more to come. We then have the Supply Crate Backpack Trophy, which you can obtain from completing the Dark Zone East introduction mission. And lastly, the Capitol Hill Backpack Trophy, which you get for participating in the open beta. Pretty self-explanatory, don't think I need to talk about this anymore really, so let's move on. Next up are these new and exclusive audio recordings which can be found in Ghost Recon Wildlands and provide a story set between the Division and the Division 2. There are 6 audio recordings altogether and they are hidden in the world. As of right now, I know someone who has found all of them, and I will be looking to get them and make a video, but I think this is actually a really cool addition. On top of that, once you manage to find all 6, you will be rewarded with a Division 2 parachute, just like the one in the image. So if you have Wildlands and want to know what happened, then go try and find these recordings, or just wait like I am, and I'm sure they'll be posted soon. Moving on, and something I didn't know, and likely you didn't either, the Occupied Dark Zone will not have any rogue status. This has been confirmed by Terry Spire, the creative director at Ubisoft Redstorm. In a Twitter thread, Mr. So Serious asked Terry Spire, "Could you confirm Occupied DZ has no rogue status, am I right?" Had a few people saying there is rogue status, still wanted some clarity on that. Terry responded saying, "Confirmed, no statuses, shade or rogue, no respawn timers, no penalties, no checkpoint turrets, no hand holding." Now I did not know this. I knew about the checkpoint turrets and the rest, but no rogue or shade status, I'm not so sure about that. I could debate about this forever, and I won't here because this video is probably going to be long anyway, but I felt like this was something the devs have not said before, at least I've not picked up on, and it's something a lot of you have probably didn't know either, so there you go. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. So that's the less important stuff out of the way. Now let's take a look at the Year 1 content.
The launch of the Division 2 is only the beginning of our journey. We have an extensive post-launch plan supporting the game for the year to come. This content will be free and accessible for everyone. It all starts shortly after release, with the introduction of Tidal Basin, a new challenging faction stronghold held by the Black Tusk. Next up is the launch of Operation Dark Hours, the first 8-player raid in the history of the Division. Team play and coordination will be the key to success. As the year unfolds, we will be releasing 3 new episodes. Episodes are free major content updates with additional narratives and missions, new PvP and PvE modes, as well as 3 entirely new specializations. New threats will rise as the situation in Washington, D.C. evolves. Our first free episode, DC Outskirts Expeditions, will take you to the surrounding areas of Washington to fight for the liberation of the city in 2 additional main missions. The first major update will also introduce a new game mode. Division agents must form an expedition to investigate the fate of a lost convoy, encountering unexpected threats along the way. The second free episode, Pentagon, The Last Castle, will host its own narrative extension with additional main missions and introduce a new experience, as agents will have to storm the Pentagon and unveil the secrets that hide beneath one of America's most iconic locations. The third free episode will close the first chapter of the Division 2 storyline and pave the way for even more content to come. We will also introduce 3 entirely new specializations. Each of them will bring in a new unique signature weapon and skill tree to unlock and master. New endgame specializations will help you redefine your own personal playstyle as you take on new high-level challenges. The Year 1 Pass owners will enjoy 7 days early access to the episodes, instant access to the specializations as they release, a series of 8 classified assignments revealing more about the fall of DC, base of operations projects, more bounty targets, as well as trophies and unique customization items. The Division 2 is an ever-evolving game that we are committed to keep improving upon as we listen to community feedback. There will be vast amounts of varied new content deployed in the coming months. No matter your playstyle, there will always be something new for you to experience. We look forward to seeing you on the streets of Washington, D.C.
There is a lot here to unravel, and I'm not going to do that in today's video, but what I will do is just highlight the sort of key points and maybe discuss them a little bit. So firstly, we've got the new faction stronghold called Tidal Basin, which is being held by the Black Tusk. We've got Operation Dark Hours, the new 8-player raid set in the Washington National Airport. We've got 3 new episodes this year, major content updates with PvE and PvP and new specializations. The first episode is DC Outskirts Expeditions. This is set in the outskirts of DC to fight for liberation of the city, and it will include 2 new main missions. The first episode will also introduce a new game mode where agents will form an expedition to investigate the fate of a lost convoy. The second episode, called Pentagon, The Last Castle, has its own narrative and new missions and introduces new experience where you storm the Pentagon and unveil secrets. The third episode will close the chapter for the Division 2 storyline and pave the way for new stories to come. The 3 new specializations will be coming out in this year, of course. We got the Year 1 Pass, which has the 7 days early access, instant access to new specializations as they release, 8 classified assignments revealing more about the fall of DC, base of operations projects, more bounty targets, as well as trophies and unique customization items. I think that pretty much sums up everything we're going to be getting this year, and it also answers the question of what the Year 1 Pass will contain, and frankly, I'm pretty happy that I bought the Gold Edition now. My worry was all of this silence meant we were not getting anything worthy of the Year 1 Pass, and maybe we're just going to be getting the supply drops again, but this is clearly not it, and this clearly, you know, puts everything in its place, so there should be no confusion at this point. Now, I did call the Pentagon a long time ago, and whilst the devs have not said this is a new raid, I'm almost guarantee you this will be. I cannot wait to actually get in there and unravel all of its secrets. The Pentagon is one of those places that I've always wanted to go to. It's one of those places that has a lot of secrets that everyone wants to know about, so I'm really looking forward just to getting in there and playing it. And it really looks like the devs here have put a vast amount of time into this content. And let's not remember that this will all be completely free. It would appear the specializations will be staggered, so they won't all come out at the same time, and I'm likely to do a video about these, what these could be in the future, so of course stay tuned for that. With that said, there is a lot here, and I have to take my hat off to the devs. This is post-launch content done right, and I really feel like the devs have took everything wrong with the Division, and they've really tried to fix it here. Last but not least, if you missed today's State of the Game, here I've got a much shorter highlights video for you to check out, so enjoy.
Yeah, I know one of the things that I guess has been a focus for you is I learned a lot, I guess you could say, in all fairness, from the first one.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you think that you're most excited about that are the differences for that kind of life phase?
I mean, one thing that I'm really excited that we're actually doing is that well, we're adding narrative content to the game, and I think that's something that's been asked a lot with the first game, you know, and like players have always wanted to, you know, get more of the story and keep discovering the story as it progresses.
Mm-hmm.
And in Division 1, you know, we had a lot of game modes and everything, but not necessarily a lot of new narrative content. So I think it's great that here with Division 2, we are actually going to be delivering on both ends. So we're going to have new story, new narrative things to explore, and also you know, new experiences for the players.
What can you tell us about strongholds? and that sort of thing?
Well, I mean, strongholds are part of the structure of the game, and this is up to this point that's going to be the ultimate challenge, the hardest, toughest content that you can do out there. And Tidal Basin is actually the final stronghold, so it's going to be the the base where the Black Tusk is actually where the Black Tusk is actually attacking the city from, and where you have to actually bring the fight to them. So expect something that's going to be tougher and much more intense than what a mission, what a main mission would actually be, fighting the Black Tusk, going in there and trying to take it over from them. So that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, no spoilers, but it's impressive and big. That's all. That's all I say.
Yes.
One of the things that I'm particularly excited about, and it doesn't seem maybe that other people would be, but resetting of all of the cool activities that you can play in the end game is going to be, I guess, a little bit more elegant, and there's a whole lot more to do. Is there anything you can tell me about how that's going to work? Because if I think back to how it worked in The Division 1, there was a little bit of confusion, maybe, like some things were set on this day, some things were here, blah, blah, blah. What's the deal?
We always try to make sense of all the weekly resets in The Division 1, and that always been proven very tough. Now here, so the idea is we really try to create that cadence for the players. So everything that's going to be resetting on a weekly basis will actually make sense. The resets will be happening at very specific moment for for the players to feel like, okay, now is the time to come back because now all my resets actually happen, and now there's a lot of new fresh things. And also try to leverage that as much as possible to create that basic rhythm, that basic layer of like every day and every week I can come back because there's new things to do. Yeah. And then on top of that, we're going to be adding even more.
Cool. So just getting a little bit ahead of myself. Maintenances for the game. Yeah. These are the things I like talking about because.
Let's talk about the most exciting topic. We're talking about post-launch. Let's make a segment about maintenance.
But the reason why we're doing this stream on a Wednesday is because going forward, I really want to make sure that we have this time to check in with the community before the reset and the maintenance and all of that happens. Yeah. Is that going to be the case? So Thursday maintenance?
Yes, Thursday. I mean, that's what we're working with at the moment. But may always shift depending on how things go when the game launches. But yes, we are aiming for maintenances on Thursday. So yeah, we can have the state of the game, talk about the things that are coming.
So people know what's coming, and that's when resets are going to happen.
That's also what we're aiming for at the moment.
So hopefully we can give people some,
So it's like there's a clear moment where like the game shuts down, and then when it comes back, everything reset, and it's all new and fresh, and you can. So yeah, just to be clear, we have the 3 specializations that are part of the game that are at launch. But when you reach the end game, you can unlock and you can play with. And on top of that, we're talking about adding 3 more during year 1. So 3 more specialization with complete new playstyles, complete new signature weapons, and complete new mechanics.
One might say there was a mini spoiler in the trailer. Do with that what you will.
It's still a gear game. So we know how important it's going to be to keep adding more, and definitely we will be adding more gear in there, but we are also looking at not necessarily just doing that as part of the big episodes and the big updates, but also releasing some, regularly as well for the people that are just into collecting everything and grinding all the gear. So yes, there's going to be very regular drops of new stuff.
So with the exotics, I know there's going to be a bunch at launch. I think you mentioned to me the other day that maybe not for every slot. But those will get filled out over time, and then additional ones for each slot. Okay.
Yeah. It's just there's going to be some exotics that are going to be available at launch, and then more that are going to be added shortly after that, and then we'll keep adding new ones. So
because there's some really cool stuff in there. Obviously, people actually spotted the cute backpack trophies from the classified assignments rewards.
Yes.
We'll talk a little bit about classified assignments. We did talk about the new specializations and additional bounties and projects. What can you tell us about the whole instant unlock of the specializations?
Yeah, so it's as we said, there's 3 new specializations that are going to be coming with year 1. And just to be clear, these are free. You can get them for free. You can unlock them through gameplay. But if you have a year 1 pass, you can unlock them directly. But
So they're not
everybody,
locked?
no, they're not
Okay.
locked. Everybody gets to get them, but
Okay.
it's just if you have a year one pass, you get them directly. If you don't, you'll have to achieve a few things to actually unlock it.
What else do we have on here? Oh, projects and bounties. That was the thing I wanted to talk about because people had in, I guess the beta is the best reference on this for us because there were projects at the settlements and the base of operations.
Yeah.
How does that work for year one pass holders?
So you have additional projects and bounties, and that's kind of linked to the additional activities we had mentioned prior in the pass. So that's one aspect of it. The other one is the classified assignments. And the idea here is just how to give just an extra benefit to the year one pass holders. So what they will have is extra daily projects and also an extra weekly bounty on top of the ones that are normally available in the game. They won't have any extra, any exclusive rewards or whatever. It's just one additional avenue for people to get gear.
We haven't shown the full bounties scope in the beta with the bounties network. But that's a similar type of thing for year one pass holders?
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing as what will be available in the game. It's just you get one extra weekly one as a year one pass holder.
Cool.
So it's the whole, fantasy of like hunting down high value targets and everything. It's an extension to the HVT feature we had in the first game. Just a cooler version.
Cool. All right. I want to talk a bit, because I think it's important that we are clear from the get-go about monetization in the Division 2.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about that? Again, to be clear, I'm asking Yannick in the sense that, he knows things, not that he designs things.
I mean,
it's... But what's the...
It's a part of the game, so, might as well talk about it.
But yeah. On?
So there's two ways to monetize, or there's two aspects of monetization in the Division 2. The first one is the year one pass, and we've talked about that. Sure. So when you buy a Gold or Ultimate Edition, you get your year one pass. Later on, we also make the year one pass available for purchase separately. So if you want to wait and see if it's worth it after the game launches, totally cool. You can do that as well. And then the other avenue is the monetization inside the game, and here we're looking at basically the whole layer of cosmetic and what we call apparel, which is basically the way to visually customize your character.
So people would kind of know apparel caches as what they experienced as encrypted caches.
Yes.
But we have a new system for how that works.
Yes, exactly. So the way we deliver these items in the game now is, and these cosmetic and apparel items, I'm going to refer to them as apparel now, so get used to that. That's how we call it. But basically, you get it through apparel caches, and there's two types of caches. There's the ones that we call the standard caches that you get all the time through gameplay. So it's like you play the game and you get some key fragments, and once you get a key, you can open one of those caches and you get some random items. And this is very similar to what we had in Division 1. But also all the items that are available in this standard cache can also be purchased individually in the store. So you can basically, if you see an item that you really like, you don't have to just like keep rolling in these caches. You can just directly go buy it if you want.
But can you purchase a standard cache if you want, or only?
So not the standard caches.
Okay.
But then on top of that, we have the second type of caches, which we call the apparel event, or for the apparel event. And these are specific to a specific time frame. They are available only for a specific time frame. And these you can unlock through gameplay as well, or you can directly buy caches, and you can roll for a chance to get specific items. Now, this is built on improvements to the encrypted cache system we had in the first game. So there's a few improvements we've made there based on what the people wanted to see in the encrypted caches. And I think the biggest one of that is that you will not have dupes. So when you get not the standard ones, the gameplay purely ones will have dupes. The ones that are gameplay or monetized, so the event ones, will not have dupes. So that means there is a specific amount of caches you would need to buy if you want specific items. You know that if there's 30 or 40 items available as part of that cache, if you buy 30 or 40 of those cache, you will have everything, basically.
Okay. So you can say that if you spend money, you will never get a duplicate.
you will never get a duplicate.
Okay. And how is that visually represented? I haven't actually seen it. Like, so when you get an event cache, you can see everything that is in.
Yes. So that's
cache?
the other thing we're doing. That was also a requested addition, is the fact that now you can look at what's actually inside the cache. So you know exactly what are the items you can get. All the items are on the same drop rate, on the same chance of acquiring them.
So if there's 10, they're 10% each.
Exactly. Okay. There's 10, there's 10% each. And so you can see all the items that are available in this cache, and you can also know which ones you have and which ones you don't have. So you have very clear visibility on what remains to be acquired there.
Okay.
Now, if you don't want to spend any money on that, the other thing is that once a vanity event ends or an apparel event ends, all the content that was in this cache becomes available in the standard cache. So the ones that's only available through gameplay, or you can buy it.
So you can still get it later.
Store. Exactly.
All right.
So if there is, as part of this apparel cache, event cache that is available and that you can purchase, if there's this one specific thing you want, but you don't actually want to buy the cache for chances to get it, you can just wait until it's added afterwards in the store to buy it individually.
Yeah, I see Charlie Pryor in chat is saying, so to clarify, the same stuff you can get with payment, you can get within game without payment.
Yes.
That is true.
Yes.
And everything is cosmetic and doesn't affect the performance of your
game.
game.
Yeah, it's all purely cosmetic.